If you're thinking about selling your home in Philly and wondering how long is it actually going to take me to sell my home, don't make the mistake of thinking that it's going to sell in one weekend. Because the truth is, some homes are gone in 5 days and others take 60, 90, 120 days or more to get an offer. And I'm going to break down exactly why that happens so you don't end up on the wrong side of that. So here's the real answer. How long does it take to sell a home in Philly, Delco, Montco, and Chester County? For days on market, I like to use the median instead of the average because for a few homes that were stale on the market for maybe even over a year can really inflate the actual days on market average median price. So I do use the median number. In Philadelphia County, the median days on market is 30 days. In Delaware County, it's 12 days. In Montgomery County, it's 10 days. And in Chester County, it's 7 days. So that's your median. That's your baseline. But not every home has the same story of those median days on market. And those numbers are as of March 2026. You can see that number for days on market if you position your property right and price it right. But remember, these are just averages, and averages can be misleading. What actually matters is how you position your home, your location, the condition, and how you market it and prep it before you hit the market. Because what I'm seeing right now across Philly is that homes that check the right boxes are still moving very fast. And when I say check the right boxes, I'm not just talking about a pretty kitchen. I'm talking about updated systems. This means updated roof, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, water heater, windows, big ticket items like those. Buyers today are more sensitive to these big ticket items and the big systems than they are to the cosmetic stuff. Most buyers are okay painting walls than they are with replacing the HVAC for $15,000 immediately after closing. So if your home is updated where it counts, priced correctly, and marketed well, you could easily stay in those median days on market depending on what area you're in. No doubt about it. This is especially true for hot areas like the Main Line, East Patchogue, and Fishtown. But this is where sellers are getting in trouble and what drags the days on market to 60 days or more. It's pricing. Sellers want a price based on what they want to proceed instead of what buyers are willing to actually pay them in the current market. And what happens is you miss that first most important 2-week window when buyers are looking at your property. If you miss that 2-week window, you're playing catch up. So pricing was number one. Number two is condition. Not the HGTV sense, but is this going to cost me money sense. If buyers walk in and immediately start adding up repairs, it's going to cost you in the long run because they're going to factor this into their offer and offer a lower purchase price. Number three is presentation and marketing. In this day and age, your first showing is online. This is your first impression, and you only get one first impression. If your photos and videos and marketing doesn't stand out, sometimes buyers don't even want to book the showing. That alone can add weeks to your timeline. It's very important that you and your agent talk about having professional photography and marketing done. Now let's talk city versus the suburbs, because this is where things shift a little bit. In Philly, especially with row homes, you'll often see quicker activity when the homes are priced between around 400 to 600,000. Once you get higher than that, your buyer pool shrinks a little bit, so timelines can also stretch a little bit. In the suburbs, homes are still moving very quickly. As I said, the median days on market, they're much lower than Philly, but buyers care about different things out in the suburbs. They're a little bit more particular, I would say. Buyers in the suburbs care more about school district, taxes, lot size, and overall condition. So if something feels slightly off, it can sit longer than expected. And here's something most agents won't tell you. The goal is not just to sell your home fast, but it's also to sell it in that first window of demand, because that's when you get the strongest offer, the best terms, and the least amount of negotiations. The longer you sit, the more leverage shifts to the buyer. So if you're thinking about selling, the real question isn't how long will it take? It's how do I prep my home to sell within the first 2 weeks and not sit for 2 months? And that comes down to pricing strategy, prep, and knowing exactly what buyers care about in that specific area. What works in Manayunk is very different to what works in Havertown, and what works in South Philly is completely different to what works on the main line. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. If you're considering selling, I'd rather get you a clear game plan than play catch-up later. I can walk you through a timeline that would be realistic and what buyers are going to pick apart at your house, and how to position it so it moves quickly for the best price. Just reach out whenever you're ready. My DMs are always open. Email me anytime. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.